people. We are back at A2TP podcast, episode 143. This is 143, right? Mm-hmm. Episode 143, and we are back. It's your boy, International Walk.
It's your girl, That's the hostess with the mostest.
And we are back for another episode of Us.
Remember when you coughed the other day, that lady looked at you?
She did. Platforms you guys can catch us on is A2TP.com, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Player FM, Podchaser, Pod Addict, Pod Index, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube are all the platforms that we are on, and a couple more to come. So just hold tight. How are you?
I am doing good. I feel good. I'm doing good. Mentally, I am probably a 8.9.
8.9.
Is that like being anal? But yeah, I would say, because I'm not quite a 9, but I'm much higher than an 8. So I feel good. I'm excited. I have a therapy session coming up. I don't know if y'all are in therapy and you know what is familiar with the term like step down therapy. You can do that for any kind of medical or treatment that you get. You do that with medication, step down therapy. But I had agreed to step down therapy to reduce the frequency because I was it's weird to say doing better, but life is life. And not that I'm doing bad, but I'm happy to increase my frequency. I was missing therapy. I feel like it's almost like part of self-care. You know how like you
never expressed that though.
Huh?
That you was missing it. You seemed like you were kind of okay with the step down.
No, I may not have expressed it, but no, I thought I would be, but no, I in my mind, I know we talked about it with we had a couple session recently, and we talked about it, but I had already planned to mention it. I knew my individual session was coming up, and I had planned to, kind of mention like that not bi-monthly. Bi-monthly means twice
every other month.
Okay, yeah, every other month.
Bi-weekly is
every other week, yeah. So yeah, that bi-monthly, it was just too far of a stretch. And the thing is, some times it may work, but other times it's like no. And I know, our therapist is amazing, where they are on call, where if you need to talk. But I just would rather have the session scheduled and know. Almost like, the gym is more frequent, but it's like, when you go into the gym and you're used to it and you get into a regimen and then you pull back, like you said, your body missed it a little bit. I think my soul, was sort of kind of missing it. So happy to be having a session coming up and reigniting the frequency of monthly sessions. So that's where I am mentally. Financially, a 10. No complaints there. Thank God for all of his blessings, and ask that he allow us to be a blessing to others, which doesn't always mean financially, but in whatever way we can. Work is a 10. Really good. Just grateful for the rooms that God allows me to be in, literally and figuratively. And just I'm learning a lot and doing a lot, which I like. I don't like to feel stagnant and mentally. Now it's good to kind of be stagnant, like physically, where you don't have a whole bunch to do. That feels good, but I like for my mind to be I don't want to say challenge. Yes, that's the word. Not challenge,
but there's a fine line in
right.
stimulation and what you just was talking about, where you think that you're learning so much. Not saying you, I'm talking about anybody. Where you think that you're learning so much because you have so many things that you're trying to learn, but you're really not retaining or digesting anything. You're just experiencing a bunch of stuff.
Right. But it's like reading headlines.
Yeah, but you're not like it's like sensory overload.
Yeah.
Is what I was going
which doesn't feel good.
No.
But yeah, in my case, like I'm learning to your point, at a pace that is helping me to digest it. So like kind of taking off a bite at one time and like, okay, learning about that. Okay, then now let's take the next bite, learn about that. And then some, recently I was exposed to some information where it wasn't even intentional, but it was like, you always see something and you hear the terminology. You don't really know all the details because maybe you just never had to, but had an opportunity to just get more insight, and it was helpful. So work is a 10. Physically, I'm gonna say I feel good. I'm a 9. I wish I was a 10. I had not been able to go to the gym with my pseudo trainer for the last couple of days due to work.
Pseudo means fake.
Well, because you're not literally a trainer.
Pseudo means fake.
Okay, take out the pseudo. With my trainer. He may not be anybody else's trainer. He may not have any certification, but he does a hell of a good job with our training. So I haven't been able to go the last couple days, and I miss it. And I'm looking forward to, God willing, I don't have any interruptions, being able to, finish out the week. So, but physically, I feel good. I feel good. I feel great.
Cool.
How are you?
I'm good. Mentally, I feel like a 9. Upstairs, sharpened up a little bit with a little couples therapy over the weekend. Well, at the start of the week, not necessarily over the weekend, but I feel good. I feel like a 9. Finances is a 9. Trying to get them back to a 10. But God is good to us, so no complaints there. Work is a 9. Work is going well. If this was tomorrow, I probably would say work is a 10, but work's a 9. Physically...
Wait, why tomorrow? Oh, because it'd be closer to the end of the week?
No, just I'll have more done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Physically, I feel like a 10. I'm big as shit. I'm huge. You should see these arms. Like, it's dazzling out here, so...
You showing off your goods?
Yeah, I feel good. I'm in the gym every day.
You like the girls out here twerking.
I don't do no twerking. I don't think I ever move my body like that.
No, this is male equivalent to twerking.
Nah, it's that Terry Crews shit, popping the pecs.
No.
I don't do that. I don't even know how to have that movement. So that's just a little flex. Though.
Okay. So that might not be twerking, but that's the girls just showing their ass shots.
Whatever.
Okay.
I'll take it as that. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You label me as a girl, but okay.
No, I said that's the man's equivalent to doing that. I'm not saying you're a girl.
I'm just trying to get just trying to live a little bit, just trying to get a little light.
But you're showing your goods. You might as well start OnlyFans now and show your body off.
Shit on when I was trying to get my shit off. It's like
no. I agree, but you're showing off your goods.
No, what I'm saying, I was trying to get my shit off, and you just like shit all over me. Now I feel insecure about myself.
No, you look good, but why are you sharing my?
I'm on camera. I don't know what you expect. Like
you don't have to do that. That's what I'm saying. You can
don't
just
make me take my shirt off and do the show shirtless with my hair on my chest.
You'll do it by yourself shirtless. We are not doing that. We are not doing that.
Don't make me.
Do we want to do a sexy episode?
Do we want to take my shirt?
No, we don't.
All right.
We don't.
I'm just saying we can go for some.
We can get sexy popping for next episode.
But I feel good. Physically, I'm a 10.
That's good. I'm super, super, super proud of you and your.
You proud of me? You proud of me?
You can't even give
you proud of me?
A ninja a compliment.
I'm just saying, I'm not.
I am super proud of you.
Used to hearing this language.
Oh, really?
Saying, no, I'm just.
And your dedication
proud of me.
To your because I know you're not okay. It's like 90% health, 10% vanity. We all want to look good. That goes without saying. But I'm just super proud of your dedication to the gym and doing it to maintain. Like, I'm sure because you have a physical job, you come home some days and I know you want to do it. Your body may not feel like doing it, but you don't stop. Like you don't kill yourself in the gym either. So I think I have learned a lot by working out with you, and how to, people do different things, different ways. There's no good, bad. I mean, that's a lie. I'm sure there's some bad ways that, people in the fitness industry would say that ain't a good thing. But I've learned in watching you work out, you can achieve a goal without like, sprinting. Like, they say,
It's not a marathon.
It's not a marathon. It's a race. How do you say that?
I don't know.
It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. That's what it. Yeah. That's what it is. So I'm just really proud of you for your dedication to it. You've made it a part of your life. And again, I'm sure there's some days where you worked hard, whether it's mentally, your body is, whether it's physically stressed, mentally stressed, emotionally stressed, you still make it happen.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Look, we all go through stuff in life, right? We all have issues. We all have problems. We all may have health issues as we get older. And, eating right and taking care of my body is just something that God has given me the ability to do. And while I have that ability, I want to show up for myself. And that's just where that comes from. Just showing up for me. No matter what happens in life, I don't want to sit back and be like, I could have did this more, or I could have took care of myself more, and then I wouldn't be in this situation. So I just want to show up for me so that I get as much as I can out my body, longevity.
You said eating right. So we have been on this no meat journey, meaning no chicken, no beef, no chicken, no red meat, no poultry, and no red meat. I guess we already don't eat pork, so I guess that's the best way to say it. So mainly, really,
pork
we're
is
like
white meat. Yeah, the other white meat they call it.
Yeah, so really we are pescatarians. Like, we're just eating seafood, vegetables, faux meat, if that's the way to call it. Like, but it's been good. Like, the options that we found. How you feel like this is something you can do for the long term?
Yeah. I mean, all it takes is some discipline, which, I'm a disciplined person. So, yeah, I think it's definitely something I'm still getting used to, because working out in the gym, you come out, you hungry, you craving, like, meat is like, okay, I need something to fill my belly. Like, meat does that. But as long as you have a little starch here and there, a little rice, a little polenta, a little potato, then you get you get something on your ribs. But it's something you still have to get used to. I don't know how long the barrier is before you're like not even thinking about it. Where you're just eating bowls of vegetables and not even caring. And your stomach done shrunk. But so I'm still in the process of getting used to it. But I don't plan on like stopping or complaining about it.
And one thing we're not just not eating meat and poultry and like just eating whatever. We are still trying to eat healthily, where we're not eating fried foods, and we may have some French fries one day on the weekend. Healthily.
You said healthily.
We are eating healthy.
Healthy, not just healthy, not healthily.
Oh, okay. But again, we're not eating like fried stuff. Again, we may have some French fries on the weekend or something, but that's about it.
Calamari.
So right, because the thing is, you can be vegan, vegetarian, whatever, and eat French fries and potato chips and a whole bunch of stuff, and not eat not pizza if you're vegetarian, and it still not be a healthy diet. So we are trying to maintain a healthy diet. The challenge is it's easy because we can control what I cook and what we eat. Right. The challenge is outside the house. I was super proud of myself today. Had a work event. Everybody in I reached my peopling limit today, because I met so many people who I have worked with for even years on a computer, and you talking to somebody like, what's your name? And they're like, oh, hey, it's Natasha. Like, okay, we never seen this person, but so they had like a catered lunch. And I find that that's where the challenge can come into play, is what the options are. They had some kind of grilled chicken breast, it was like a cookout kind of theme, I guess, like some grilled chicken breast, some brisket, some meatballs. Then they had vegetarian chili and rice. And they had this macaroni and cheese that was like not homemade macaroni and cheese, but I tasted a little bit of that. And I had the vegetarian chili and rice, which ended up being pretty good, because at first I was looking like, I'm not going to be able to eat this lunch today. But I was proud of myself that I made it work. I mean, the vegetarian chili, I wouldn't write home to my mom about it, but it wasn't bad. So that's the challenge, I think, but we'll get used to. And restaurants now, I think, have caught on, where they make sure they have ample options, because so many people are looking at alternatives to me.
Right.
What's your wows and woes for this week?
Wows and woes. My wow is that I had therapy at the top of the week, and is super happy about just getting back on board monthly with just getting right. Getting right for therapy, getting right in therapy. Just super looking forward to that. Love our therapist, and just super enthusiastic about growing. That's all.
Yeah.
Woes, woes. I mean, we wasn't our best self last week, the week before that, couple pods. I'm sure you guys probably could tell our energy just wasn't the same. And we kind of like, came over the hill of that. So that was a woe of mine, just us not being where we supposed to be. But, like I said, we come over the hill of that. So progression.
Piggyback on what you said. My woe would be, we were in a tough place, and I'm not one to put a lot into astrological stuff and the sun and the moon and all that kind of stuff. I know when people talk about Mercury retrograde, and
I have no idea what you're talking about right now, but go ahead.
People talk about Mercury retrograde, and I to be honest, I don't know a whole bunch about it and what it means, but Mercury do something, and it's a time where they tell people, like, be careful, don't make any rash decisions, be mindful of your emotions, because during that time it's supposed to cause turmoil in people, whether it's internally in your business life, financially, your relationships. And I say that to say, like, I'm speaking very broadly because I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know people who heavily think about that, like, oh God, I can't wait till this retrograde is over. Or
does that have anything to do with the rocks, like the
like crystals and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, Mercury, no, this is the planet.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mercury.
I thought you meant like the liquid.
No. Yeah, this is the planet.
Okay. That's
so
what I'm saying. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, retrograde Mercury.
Yeah,
I'm thinking you're talking about like the Terminator man.
No, I'm talking about the planets. Now, again, I don't know the details. I don't even know what retrograde really means when they talk about this, but I say that to say I don't put a lot of weight, I don't really put any thought into that. I do know, like, the last month or so, there has been a lot of turmoil. There's been turmoil. There's been, a quake between us. So that too was my woe, and I was thinking about that. Like, how much emphasis? Or I don't want to say emphasis. How much do you look at, like, your horoscope and stuff like that?
Never.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never. I try not. Again, I told you before about this. Like, I talk to my emotions, so I try not to operate within them, which is easier said than done because we're emotional people. But when I feel something, I just ask, why is it here, and do I feel like giving? Like, does it warrant me giving into it? And sometimes I'm good at it, sometimes I fail at it. But that's kind of how I operate from day to day. So I don't look at no horoscopes or the sun, the moon, none of that shit. Yeah. Like, I just I feel good today. And
I don't look at it myself. I may see that, like, somebody else has posted, but I don't, like, go seeking it out. So, yeah, so that was my woe.
I believe in Jesus and the devil. That's what I believe in. And sometimes I know he's here all the time, and sometimes the devil infiltrates.
Absolutely, the devil always is like right at the door, like, wait.
Yeah,
like, you ever see, like, the creeps that's, like, peeking in your window?
And sometimes Jesus is doing so good, like, he can't even get in. But then God got to please everybody, so sometimes he creeps in, and you got to have a force field, a bubble up. You got to be able to. From all that. I know you can't, like, kill the devil like that, but you know what I'm saying. You get the metaphor, like, you gotta block that shit out.
Okay. My wow would, again, be the same as yours, just being able to tap into our resources, financially and physical resources, to kind of wave the white flag in the sense of surrendering, not like giving up, but surrendering to say, okay, we need help. We need help. We need a professional. We need to talk. We need to do the things that we know to get us up. It's like being sick and you just say, I'm gonna take care of her. I'm gonna take care of her. And it's like, sis, you didn't have this cough for 3 months. When you gonna call the doctor? And I mean, of course, we didn't allow things to go for 3 months.
And obviously, we talking about normal marriage shit. Like, nobody was, or at least I wasn't. I'm speaking for myself. I wasn't thinking of like the D word or like that stuff's not even an issue for us. Like, we made a promise to each other that, you know, we got a plan A and plan A is going to work. So this is just regular marriage shit. Like, not like, oh my God, we about to leave each other and we're in a crisis and we need help. No, we just smart enough to know that we can't fix everything. And sometimes it's only us two in our house. We don't have kids. And sometimes we could get at each other. And we have to still find language and still find opportunities to share our emotions and not necessarily in an aggressive way. So that's just what it is.
And people who are married, I'm sure y'all can agree. The big stuff is the big stuff. And sometimes the big stuff is the easiest things
I've told
to
you
work
that,
out.
I told you that years ago. And not saying like a pat on my back, but I remember saying that years ago. Like, big shit, smart people can sit down and hash out big shit. The little shit is the stuff that
that's what I'm
piles
saying.
up and gets on your nerves.
Anybody who's married, I'm sure you figured that out. Like, it ain't the big stuff. I mean, again, the big stuff is the stuff that you can't ignore or brush under the rug. You got to address it, which means that you'll probably resolve it or work through it sooner because you got to. Like, it ain't no, I mean, no, this is not an always or never thing. Of course, nothing applies to everybody, but if somebody is cheating, you got to address that. If somebody's hitting somebody, you got to address that. You know, if there's like blatant disrespect, you address that. But it's the little things that nag and pick at you that you may not address at the moment, which, you know, those things pile up and pile up and pile up until there's an explosion, which, you know, so anybody in marriage, like you said, experiences those things. You know, thank God we have not experienced those major issues in our relationship. And I'm, you know, made a promise to God to love him forever. And I don't have no plans on breaking that promise to God. So.
We are fortunate to be in therapy. We're fortunate to have resources to pay for therapy. That is not everybody's plight. Everybody can't afford therapy, especially when we're talking about our community. Speaking of Black people, a lot of Black people think it's a stigma on therapy, and they damn sure don't want to put money aside to do something that they not even think is going to work or used to. And a lot of Black people think therapy is going in and having somebody tell them what to do.
Telling your business to somebody.
I mean, obviously you telling your business because you can't lie in therapy. That's a caveat to therapy. You get in therapy if you want it to work for you. You can't lie. You got to tell on yourself and tell the truth. But I say all that to say, what about the people who don't have financial stability to get to therapy? What about the people who can't seek therapy the way that we do and don't have the resources that we have? What are some other options when therapy isn't affordable?
You know, it's funny you say that because I was in a group setting with medical professionals, like community professionals, and we were talking about, it was a conversation about mental health and people needing therapy. And someone very established medical professional, she kind of mentioned, like, you know, similar to what you say, I know everybody doesn't always like using the resources. And she said, you know, when I'm having some issues, I go to church. Like that does it for me. And it was weird not to say, it was kind of weird to hear a medical professional take that stance, even though, you know, not saying she should have lied about it, but
most of them believe in their science.
Exactly. And as much of a push as there is towards therapy, now she wasn't a psychologist or a mental health professional, but it was just odd to hear her say that in this setting. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I believe that God gave mental health professionals the knowledge and schooling and passion for what they do to help us. Because yes, you can go to church, you can read the Bible, you can do all those things, but sometimes you need that. However, for those who may not be able to afford, I do think if you have some sort of spiritual grounding, religious grounding, whether it's church, the mosque, the temple, wherever, that may be a solution. Because sometimes it takes prayer and surrendering your own ego, emotions, and really humbling yourself to come to a place with your partner and giving it to God. Say, all right, help us. Like, sometimes that is what is needed. You need to kind of take a step back, take off all of those masks and facades and walls down that you may have up to be able to see your partner to resolve it. And that may be the fix where, you can't, if you don't have the ability to go to therapy. Also, sometimes surrounding yourself with people who have some experience may help. But that's tricky because not all relationships are different. I mean, I'm sorry, not all relationships are the same, of course.
Right.
Everybody doesn't operate the same in relationships. The advice that I may have that may work for us, that may work for us, may be completely irrelevant to somebody else's relationship if they don't operate in the same manner that we do.
I agree with that. And my thought process was, I didn't think about the church aspect, but just surrounding yourself, like in layman's terms, just getting around somebody who you deem is worthy of your thoughts, like a friend. Like sometimes it's not about advice, sometimes it's just about talking and getting it out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you trust somebody, you have somebody in your life that holds sacred conversations, and a friend, a sister, anything like that you might be close to. And again, every relationship isn't the same, but if you can get that off with somebody, just to get it off your chest, just to get it out you, so it's not festering in you, where you're not talking to anybody, you got no church, no friend, no nothing. At least that's a outsource that you can get it out with. So, I mean, all those kind of things, when you don't have no money and you can't afford no therapy, okay, you might go to church and you might come home on Sunday and be like, okay, I didn't get much out of that. Or, but again, just talking sometimes, not even, because you're right, what works for somebody else may not work for you. And what helped them with their advice that they're trying to give you, it might have turned their life around. It might in turn hurt your life if you went that way. So you can't take advice, but to be around somebody and talk to somebody just to get some stuff off balance. Man, I don't know how you have these conversations or word them without saying, I'm looking for your opinion, I'm looking for your advice, but just talking it out.
Yeah, sometimes it's just about venting. Because sometimes
I couldn't even place such a simple word.
And get your words out. You know how and sometimes therapy is like that. Therapy is kind of like somebody the therapist poses a question that engages you to think differently, where you do all of the talking, and it's like, wow, okay, I was able to look at that from a different perspective.
Because of the way the question was phrased.
Right. So sometimes having people in your life, now this is the key that I think that is important. And this is biblical. It says this in the Bible when it comes to relationships, where you have to be equally yoked with your partner. But I think that is also essential in your any of those relationships that
that's a slippery phrase. I don't like it.
Even in those, but when I say that, meaning
because
that
it's circumstantial and you're not talking about everything on the list.
Okay. When I say equally yoked, like those relationships that you choose, your friends, there should be some. Now, of course,
spiritually yoked.
Spiritually, but also morally, ethically. Like, I wouldn't be able to sit and have a conversation or build that relationship and trust with someone who their morals like, okay, this is just something trivial, but not really. Like, if there was somebody I knew who was a booster, or somebody who I knew who was always scamming, or like I had posted something that was fun. It wasn't funny. It was like, going to Walmart and you ring up a cucumber for a 40-inch TV. Like, people real life do stuff like that at self-checkout. someone who does that kind of thing is not someone that's equally yoked with me. Like, I don't want no friends that live that kind of life, that do that kind of thing. Like, ew, like, that's bum stuff. Like, I don't, so that's when I say equally yoked, someone who think, you're not going to always think the same about every situation. Of course, y'all not robots. You want to have
but
different
your morals
opinion.
and what you stand on, all that, that's the beauty that you get when you pick friends.
Exactly. That's why I said the relationships that you pick, because unfortunately you can't dictate that with your family, but your spouse and your friends. Family,
but the people that you pick, that's your responsibility on who you want around you. But like she's saying, having people around you that you can talk to and get that off with would make a world of difference other than not having it.
And you also have to have people that you trust to, you trust with your business, like as far as telling, your personal business, but also that you trust that's not going to sugarcoat. People don't need a yes person in their corner. I'll tell you, it's real funny story. Years ago, we had a situation, argument, and I went to my mom's house, and I called Toya, and I'm telling her, like, I'm all upset, blah, 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 blah. And she's listening. She's like, okay, and listening. So like she's like, all right, so what time are you going home? Like, all right, I hear what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing. I understand why you upset. But at the end, like, what time are you going home? Like, that's your husband. Like, take your ass home, figure it out, do what y'all got to do. Or there's been situations where I may have been talking, we may have been going through something, and I may be venting, and she'd be like, okay, that's not a big deal. Like, maybe, I can't think of anything specific, but you might have said something and maybe I didn't like it. And she's like, well, maybe he meant it this way. Or maybe, are you PMSing? Like, did you take, so you need somebody who's not going to be like, yeah, girl, leave him. Yeah, girl, yeah, girl, pack your bags. Like, yeah, like you want somebody that's not going to be afraid to call you on your stuff, to make you be accountable, to tell you when you're wrong, or support you when you're right, or maybe give you a different perspective. So that it's important. Like, everybody, every friend, they could be a great friend, loving. That doesn't mean that they are someone that is valuable in that portion of your life.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And some other resources may be just free government resources. Like, that may be the only thing that you can have, is to call, maybe do therapy over the phone or something. Maybe like that kind of therapy is free, supplied by the government in some kind of way, and locally.
Or if you have health insurance.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, you can get some type of therapy that way. You just gotta seek and search for it, and maybe it can be free. Maybe your insurance can pay for it. But when you can't afford like paid therapy, a friend, somebody that don't have a dog in the fight, that kind of person that you trust, that you can just talk to. Again, advice is a fine line, because what works for somebody else may not work for you. But again, just getting it off your chest and trusting that your business won't be put out in the street and shit like that.
And also, I'll say you have to be accountable for self, right? You can't blame your actions or inactions on other people. However, it does help to surround yourself, or to have a circle of people, again, that are like-minded, that are nurturing. If I'm a married woman and I got, a group of friends, and 4 of them are single, they out here, dropping it like it's hot every weekend, or they doing this, like, not that I can't be friends with someone who is single, but me surrounding myself with them too much, like, again, we're not equally yoked in our thinking. They're not thinking about, getting home to their husband, or we can't talk about what you cooking for your man, for dinner. This, like, I mean, it's just a different mindset. The same for men. If you're married and you hanging out with, the dudes people, and they always at the strip club, or they doing this, or they, with this busted baby and doing this. And so surrounding yourself with people, there's a saying when people say, like, if you're the smartest one in your circle, then you need a better circle. And the same, that doesn't just relate to like mental intelligence, but emotional intelligence, financial intelligence. Like, you need like-minded people. Iron iron sharpens iron. That's biblical as well. You need people that are helping to nurture you. You nurture them. We grow together. If it's, you're the one that's the leader in your circle, or you're the one that, you can't learn anything from anyone else, then sometimes you may have to surround yourself with other people. That whole no new friends like motto that people started saying years ago, that's kind of dead. I mean, not saying you should be out here searching for friends or waving like, hey, I need a friend, but it's okay to be open and receptive to learning from other people if you feel that you're in a place where you're not able to gain anything. Again, you're a married woman or you're a married man and you're with people that you can't, have those conversations. Even if nothing is wrong, sometimes it just feels good to be with your girlfriend. I was talking to somebody the other day. She was like, I love my man. Like my husband, like that is my guy. And, we talked for a couple minutes or whatever, but I mean, she's not a friend, but sometimes those conversations are good too. Not when it's just like you need advice or you want to vent. If it's just we want to big up and support our men.
If it all worked out right, everybody could walk through life like a star. And when I say that, like, you're supposed to walk through life with a point behind you where that's a person that you pour into, that is coming behind you. You have two people on the side of you, like friends or your family, that are real close to you, that you walking through life with. And then there's somebody ahead of you that is a mentor to you that you get your advice from. So that would be the perfect way that everybody could walk through life. And everybody don't, some people they missing points and shit, like ain't got all 5 points, and that's why we need therapy. But again, a lot of people can't afford it, and hopefully, those are some options for people who are stuck going through shit, going through marital problems, going through individual problems, and you feel like you don't have no resources. Like, these are things that you can tap into. Your insurance, look into that. Like, do some research and see that, I probably can get some type of therapy through my insurance. I probably can do something. I probably can talk to a person. So, just check your options.
Let me just say this too, when you talk about affordability. So health insurance usually does not cover marital counseling because health insurance covers health-related issues. So individual therapy, whether it's for anxiety, depression, any of those diagnoses, are health-related. Marital therapy is usually, social issues, not.
It's looked at like an elective.
However, if you seek individual therapy, sometimes you may be able to talk to your therapist. Like, okay, they may be able to offer a discount because you're getting individual therapy where either insurance is covering it or you have a very low copay. They may be able to give you like a bundle deal now. And also, there are some therapists that offers scholarships. I've heard of this before, where they know that clients have a financial need, so they will lower rates, or their rates will be on a sliding scale based on your income. Also, when we talk about affordability, think about the things that you spend money on that maybe you can cut back to make room in your budget.
But I didn't want to tell people what they should be doing.
I'm saying think about it.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm not telling anybody what to do, but if you really want to, and there could be a way. You think to yourself, and I'm going to use myself because, and this is not for therapy purposes, but I used to get my nails done every 2 weeks. And I started realizing, my nails last a little longer than that. So now I usually go every 3, maybe 4 weeks. So there's some savings in that. I don't go to Wawa as often as I used to. Now coffee is $2, but you figure I was spending $2 5 days a week, 4 weeks in a year. So, I mean, there are
4
ways.
weeks in a month.
4 weeks in a month.
Slow down.
And then some of y'all go to Starbucks, which is triple the cost of Wawa. So I ain't telling nobody to do with their money. I'm just making suggestions on how you may be able to make it affordable.
And sometimes you might not need both. I mean, if you're going through marital problems, we all can say our parents and our childhoods fucked us up, and it's the reason why we are the way we are as adults. But as you get to an adult, it's your job, it's your responsibility to seek out the things that's missing in your life, to seek out those voids. And you got to be intelligent enough to do that. So, I mean, that's just something that we're responsible for. So, damn, I lost my train of thought. What was you saying?
I was just saying there may be opportunities to make it
affordable. Sometimes when you go to individual therapy, it might be you that's, messing up the marriage. It might be whether you're the husband or the wife. So just fixing you, I suggest the individual first, but just fixing you, you might come back to the marriage a different you, which intel fixes everything. So the couples thing is kind of a luxury, but your individual, your self therapy, like you should really try to focus on that. And then if you have money or have other resources to get the luxury of couples therapy, okay. But you might fix something in yourself or fix something in individual that you bring back to the marriage and can share. You can, all that kind of stuff. And it might help the marriage just because y'all worked on yourselves.
I agree. I think that was, and again, this ain't no no marital advice. I don't like giving unsolicited advice to people. This is just our feedback, our thoughts, our opinions. If you don't like it, that's fine. Do you? Wish you all the best.
Of course.
Love is a beautiful thing.
We ain't got no degrees in psychology over here. We just telling you we've been together 22 years next month. So who you want to listen to? Somebody this month, somebody who's been together for a year or 22. I would want to listen to somebody who had 22 years marriage. So is another question, is living together required to have a successful marriage? So, scenario, if this is agreed upon, both parties are happy, successful jobs, both have keys to each other's, their houses, can come and go as they please, are welcome like it's their home. They just sleep in different places. They both pay for each other's, everything is one, but we just sleep in separate places because we want our own space. Can that work in a successful marriage? You can come over and spend a night. We sleep. We still have our sex, but you just spend a night here sometime. I spend a night there sometime. Sometime we go back.
I mean, so when you say successful, that's subjective as to what somebody's measure of success is. I think it could work for people who are agreeable to that. It couldn't work for us. I mean, first of all, we would be wasting money because you would spend a night one time and never go, or I would spend a night one time, you wouldn't let me go.
Obviously, you would have to be able to afford this. So yeah. I'm just saying.
Well, no, but I mean wasting money in a sense for us. Somebody ain't never going back home. But I think it could work for you. Think about this though. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. There are some people who live this life probably not as structured as the way that you're saying it. There was an interview with Alicia Keys and she talked about how her and Swiss Beats, they kind of agree when, they're on tour and doing their thing, they don't stay away for more than 2 weeks. But you think to yourself, there's 4 weeks in the month, right? Mm-hmm. If you're going away for 2 weeks, then coming back together. Now, I don't know, once they reunite, is it like, okay, we're going to spend 2 weeks together again, and then, but you figure you spend so much time apart. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm not comparing.
Hold on, to stop you there, the alternative is we could just be going for 2-3 months at a time.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I'm not comparing the two relationships, but when you see like Beyonce on tour, Jay is there. Mm-hmm. So it's different where it's like, for whatever reason, when they're going, she's going doing her thing or he's going and doing his thing, and then they come back together. So although you may have one residence, there you are kind of living separate lives in a sense, and you just have that agreement that, okay, we go away for you go to work for 2 weeks, we come back home within 2 weeks.
And that's not a thing.
Not all the time, but that's what I'm saying. It's not as structured as you mentioned.
I might not go on tour for 3-4 years, but now that I'm going on tour this year,
we might spend a year of us living separately in that way. So I mean, there are people in that industry you can think that do it. I know of a couple who live in Pennsylvania. The wife's job requires her to travel to New York very often, very frequently. So she has an apartment right outside in Jersey City that she stays at maybe 2 nights a week or something. So, I mean, again, she comes home when she comes home, but it's, again, not as structured as you said it, but that's their life. Like, she stay at that apartment sometimes, and sometimes she come home, and daddy does, like, the soccer games and the parent nights and all that kind of stuff, because mommy is upstate handling business.
I mean,
I don't think it could ever be successful for us. I think if people are agreeing to do it and one person is not bitter about it,
this is what I'm saying. All parties have to be agreed upon. Where it's like, nah, this my wife house too. This my husband house too. I come and go as I please. I got keys. It ain't like I go there and the door locked, or I can't get in, or he don't come here for 3-4 days a week. It's just we do our own thing. We come together but we have separate houses. I don't necessarily think that would work for us either. But if it's agreed upon, if it's affordable, then I don't see a problem with that.
No, I don't.
I mean, I don't see a problem with if that's what you want. I do see a problem with people who get married and need all this space. Now, I understand you need your space as an individual, you know what I mean, to have things in your life and other than your relationship. But when you just like, I need all this space like a whole nother house.
Yeah.
Like I can't be in no room. Like you need a whole nother crib. That's crazy when two people think like that.
No, what do you? I mean,
I'm coming home like we paying 2 cable bills, we paying 2 like a whole bunch of phone bills, we paying 2 gas bills, 2 electric bills.
Well, how about this? What do
all
you
because
think,
we need space?
What do you think about couples who live together but have separate rooms?
That's almost like taboo, like that.
But it could be a loving relationship. Like
I know.
But I just don't like to sleep with you.
I know some people who do that, who like older people too, like in their 60s and 50s, who like sleep sometime in different rooms.
No, but I don't mean like, okay, sometimes like you have your room.
No, I mean they got their own room. Yeah, like yeah, they got their own room. I mean they still husband and wife, but they got their own rooms.
Yeah, I think I think I would rather, if it was a situation where like I need space and we just don't sleep in the same bed together every night, I would rather us at least be under the same roof. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about, okay, I'm not feeling good, so I'm gonna go sleep in the back room, or I'm tired, I want to go to bed, and you want to stay up a little bit later, so you go sleep in the back room. I'm talking about I got a twin in my room, you got a twin in your room. We do not sleep together.
Well, I'm having a king.
But I'm saying there's not even any room for me to sleep in there.
Nah, I ain't getting no fucking twin.
Yeah, I mean, whatever works for you. I think, again, if both parties are agreeable to the situation and that works for them, then again, success is subjective. So if that is what they agree upon, then it can be successful. And they could, grandmoms and pop-pops back in the day lived like that for years.
Yeah, but they slept in the same beds. Like, they just didn't say shit to each other.
Yeah.
They laid down and slept in one position all night long and just, didn't say shit. They didn't say good morning to each other. They kind of just grunted.
Right.
So, yeah.
Grunted, though? So let me ask this, talking about marriages, right? Been seeing some conversation. I know we kind of touched on this a little bit, I think a couple episodes ago with Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert, separated. It didn't say they were getting a divorce yet. Hopefully they work through things, but they're separated. And we know, based on their own admission and conversation and music, that they had allowed other people into their bedroom. Mm-hmm. Now, how do you think that impacts a relationship when you decide to do that? It
never works.
Really?
It never works. I mean, the signs are them, Adam 22. Like, there's just, you can't like, and this was a question where this was a statement made by somebody that threesomes are for unfaithful men and insecure women.
Say that again. Your hand is covering your mouth.
Threesomes are for unfaithful men and insecure women. And it was like, damn, I never really really looked at it from that perspective. I always thought whatever floats your boat, you do what you want to do in the bedroom behind closed doors, if that's what you want to do. But it breeds a thing in your marriage that can boil over at any time, because it's there. It's like a bad pierogi on a plate. It's like sitting there, like this girl that we fucked together is there, knows our intimacy, knows how to make you happy, make me happy. When we start strife with each other, who knows how that might go down? Who knows how, that may, and it never ends well. I'm not saying it always ends like terribly, but it doesn't end in its best form.
See, I don't know if I agree with that statement that it's for unfaithful men and insecure women, because it could be a situation where the woman is the catalyst behind it happening, because maybe she's just curious and it has nothing.
Or she's insecure.
No. Yes, but I'm saying it could be. That's what I'm saying. I don't agree with that statement that that's all that it's for. Like, she could not be insecure at all. He could not be unfaithful.
But the sharing of your now let's just go biblical here. The sharing of your spouse. You don't think that's some insecurity somewhere in there? I mean, I can't pick it out, but why a woman would want to share her man? There's some type of small insecurity. Maybe I don't have the language to pinpoint it, but a woman wanting to share her man for pleasure, I can't grasp my head around, and maybe that's ignorant on
right, because
on my
but you got to
part.
think, it may not even be about sharing her man. Maybe she's greedy and she wanted to try something new. Like, it may not. No, the ending result is she's sharing her man, but I still
think it all comes from some form of insecurity, whether you are promiscuous or you want to share your man, or it all comes from some sense of insecurity about yourself. I don't know what, but I'm sure it stems from that.
Okay, I mean, I don't agree, but
That's fine.
I think there could be a variety of reasons that a woman could want to. Now, not like you mentioned the Adam 22 situation, which was that an ongoing thing with them or a one-time thing? Well, she's a porn star, so that's a little different.
But still, the porn star thing was, you get to sleep with hundreds of girls, and she don't sleep with any guys. So all her scenes were lesbian scenes, or with him and the girl.
Okay.
The one time she did sex with a different guy, we seen what happened. We heard about it.
But that wasn't a threesome, so I wouldn't even include them in that situation. Like, I'm
just saying, introducing somebody else into your bedroom to share your wife. He sat there and watched a guy bang his girl. To me, that's like a 2.5-some.
But
you like a cuckold. You sat in the corner and watched this dude have sex with your wife, and you asked her questions like, "Did you like that, baby?" You participated a little bit. So it's kind of like a 2.5 from a 2 3/4 some. Maybe not a full threesome because there was no intercourse from you, but it was damn sure a 2.5 some. It wasn't like you was in another state and you knew she did it. You was in the goddamn room.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those. I mean, who knows? Me personally, I think, having a threesome, like you said, you introduce something that now sets a standard.
Yeah, the bar
that
moves.
You may not be able, and not just for the man, for the woman.
That's what I'm saying. For both people, the bar moves.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the woman could have been pleased in a way she's never been pleased before by a man, because a woman's not a man. And now it's like, now we just sitting here and we're trying to enjoy each other, but both of us got things in the back of our mind.
Shit could get out of control.
Yeah, and then I mean, it's also one of those things where you got to think to yourself, as if someone wanted to do it as a one-time thing, But now you open that door, and now that can breed insecurity because your partner could be like, no, they want to continue. So now you change the dynamics of your relationship where now it's like, okay, we're not on the same, we're not even in the same book anymore, let alone on the same page.
Mm-hmm. That's just out of pocket.
Yeah, so I mean, again, that I saw a lot of conversation. People were attributing, which, you know, again, conjecture, because you only know what people tell you, but people are going to make up their own stories if you don't tell them anyway. But
and all this shit is speculation. But it's the internet. People let you see what they want you to see.
Yeah, so again, conjecture. People are going to add their own spice to it if you don't tell them. People attributing them living that kind of lifestyle to the reason for their potential demise, because again, they're split, but they're not broken.
Yeah, I just don't see how you can be so madly in love with somebody, you know, your wife, your husband, and to see them, another man between her legs. I don't even know how you can look at her the same.
Well,
so
I wasn't
you to be
thinking
like
of a threesome in that way.
Any type
I mean, yeah, you're right.
Any type of way.
I was thinking of
this is what I mean when I
say
it can get out of hand. It can get out of hand because it's like, okay, I gave you a woman, now I want a man because shit getting bad. Now it's like,
a double standard, and that's a double standard.
It can get out of pocket. That's what I'm saying. It can get out of pocket. What have you learned?
Nothing.
Damn. I learned that stop going to casinos, okay? So in Las Vegas, there is a casino that is up about 10, 15,000 square feet, up and running at the end of the strip, and it's not open to the public. Mm-hmm. This casino is there. It has live games and slot machines and all that kind of stuff. But the people who are in it are people who study human behavior. And they use this casino to study human behavior to see how we react to slot machines and card tables and games and shit like that, which means the house always wins. So they break this down into 3 parts where human beings love slot machines and gambling so much because it checks off 3 things, right? It gives you opportunity, which that's what we want. It gives you a reward system, and it gives you repetitive behavior, which is something that humans, they love to do. They don't like to do extra shit. And through these 3 things, you can sit at a slot machine for 16 hours and win $3, and it don't mean nothing to you. Like, you just thought you was having the best time of your life. But these are the things that people do to suck us in, study us, and make these big shiny places with these lights and games that suck all our money out. And there's people that lost college funds, people who committed suicide, all because there's actual scientists who study human behavior on how they react in casinos, and that's how they build them. With the no clocks, with the no windows, certain colors. Certain casinos don't have right angles because it does something, it softens the brain in some type of way. There's a whole science to this shit on how a casino is built. The betting in a room, how big the room is, what the thread count in the sheets, all that shit is studied to make you feel so comfortable that you want to spend money.
Wow.
That's what I learned.
Guess what? You need to give the number to 1-800-GAMBLERS, because there's some people that just because you said the word casino.
Problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, 1-800-GAMBLER. 3 grams.
So Disney World. Disney World Wedgie?
Disney World Wedgie is a woman who is suing Disney World for $50,000 because she went down a water slide and said she had massive lacerations to her vagina because the water was so forceful that it wedgied her butthole and vagina.
You know, as ludicrous as that sounds, it sounds like she may actually have a case. Like, she may be able to win. If you think about this, right? People have sued, or a person sued McDonald's because the coffee was hot.
It just happened again, too, recently.
Hot coffee. Like, and that's why they have to put on the cup, caution, hot. They sued McDonald's. The little girl had a hot chicken nugget that fell between her legs, burned her, was horrible. I mean, you think to yourself, you get a chicken nugget, you know it's hot. Like, the food is hot. Now,
I'm not laughing at the girl, laughing at the way you said chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
You're like, you get a chicken nugget, it's hot.
Yeah, but I think what burned her is the fact that it sat there for probably a long time and maybe she couldn't reach it or react to it. But again, nevertheless, sued. So I can imagine is it the velocity of the water?
Lacerations to your vagina? She said she had several lacerations to her vagina. Like, what was she wearing, a glass bathing suit?
No, but I mean,
Was the fire hydrant like pressure coming down the water slide?
I can imagine it hurting. I mean, lacerations. I can imagine it hurting. It sounds ludicrous, and you would think to yourself, we say this.
You can't tell nobody how soft they private parts is.
Right, but we've said this often. We live in such a litigious nation.
Yes.
People will find any reason to sue. She'll probably win some money, and guess what? They will probably soften the water on that slide.
Probably, but then people might get stuck. It might be a certain amount of water that has to be going down for people to ride the slide. That's the things are not.
Physics of it.
Yeah, the physics of it. So you can't just slow it down. You might have heavier people getting stuck.
Maybe they have to increase the volume of water. So if you have a little bit of water, then it has to run real fast to push. But if you have more water, then maybe it doesn't have to go as fast. Because
she said it was too much water, and also the pressure. So I don't know. If a lot of water, a lot of water is going to bring pressure. It's water. It's 8 pounds a gallon. It's going to bring pressure.
Or they might start having people sign a waiver.
Second gram. Tamika Thomas is a woman. Now this is try to make this story quick. Tamika Thomas is a woman that lives in Las Vegas. She, her and her husband were trying to have kids in their 30s, and she had 2 ectopic pregnancies, and they removed her fallopian tube, so she had trouble having kids. Now she's a little bit older. She had 2 eggs implanted in her husband's sperm, sent home, was sent with a prescription from CVS to start the process of the pregnancy. CVS made a mistake and gave her abortion pills, which aborted her twin eggs. And all they said to her was sorry.
I mean, now you talking about a lawsuit. I mean, technically, it's nothing that they can do. You can't repair it.
But how the fuck do you make that mistake?
Having a pharmacy technician who can't read, who's not paying
pharmacists
attention.
Aren't doctors, and they look down on them. Like, how do you make that mistake? Pharmacists,
I mean,
this is the stigma. I'm not saying that you don't have to take up for them.
I'm not saying that. I didn't know that was the perception that people had of pharmacists.
Doctors look down on pharmacies like it's like a joke. Like doctors look down on veterinarians. Like you work with animals. Like that's what kind. I'm saying it in jest.
I hear what you're saying. I just never knew that was a thing. But it doesn't mean that people can't. Just like you hear stories of like a nurse like misreading a prescription. Misreading, like you're supposed to give somebody 15 millimeters. I'm making it up. 15 micrograms, and they make a mistake and give them 15 milligrams. Well, you kill them because you're not paying attention. So there could have been like a difference in wording on the medication and not paying attention. Like, that's horrible.
It is horrible. Let me just say this. There is a thing. I was listening to a pediatric doctor say that his other doctor friend, who was a regular doctor, a cardiologist or whatever, looked down on him because
he's a pediatrician.
And he's like, because he said the reason why they do that is because there's only a certain amount of things that can be wrong with kids. So it's like you see kids, there's only 100 things that can be wrong with kids. I see adults, and there's 1,000,000 things that can be wrong with adults.
That's fine. Yeah.
So that's all I wanted to say. Like, they do look down on certain professions, even if you still got a medical degree and you're good at your job. You know, the fucking heart surgeon is like, he's fucking guy.
No, I get it. Where doctors look down on chiropractors.
Yeah.
Or
podiatrists.
That kind of thing. But I didn't know it was a thing towards pharmacists. That's all I was saying.
Yeah.
Like, I do know they look at like, oh, you're just a podiatrist, or you're just a chiropractor. Like, you're not really a doctor. I get that. I just didn't know it was a thing with pharmacists. But that is essentially it's a mistake. It's just, you talk about a lawsuit. They might be about to own CBS, which is so sad
that's
because
what I mean. How
there's
big of
no
a
amount
lawsuit?
of money. Yeah, there's no amount of money. You look at
but are they about to pay out $1 billion? Are they about to pay out hundreds of millions of dollars? Like, it's CBS. They're not Apple.
CBS is a huge corporation, though.
They're not Apple is all I'm saying.
They
like,
can
how
pay
much
out
are they
millions
about
of
to pay?
dollars. I don't think billions, but they can pay out millions of dollars. You think about this,
Well,
right?
when you say millions of dollars, that you could pay $6 million. Okay, of course they can pay that. Can they pay $300 million? Now, you killed 2 babies.
You think about this, right? In Sharon Hill, a few years ago, there was a fight at a football game. It was a shooting. The cops shot back, not paying attention, killed the little 8-year-old girl. Federal lawsuit. They just settled with the family $11 million. And the mom said, if I could have my daughter back, they could have this $11 million back. Like, she don't even care about the money, of course. So I say that to say they took a life there. They took this life. I don't know if it's going to be like $100 million thing, but I'm sure they will win some money.
You know what's crazy? Like, it makes my mind go back to how they put a price on life. And it's like, it makes me go back to that 9/11 thing. Where they these lawyers will sit and say, okay, this is a 21-year-old who had the potential to make this over his lifetime, and this is a 67-year-old who only had the potential to make this because he's going to be old soon and his life is worth less than his 20-year-old. It's like, that shit is just mind-boggling to me.
And you talk about unborn, and not only that, let's also acknowledge the fact that when going through fertility treatment, they implant these embryos in you. The vitality of them is unknown because, unfortunately, in a lot of cases, you could be pregnant and then the pregnancy could end. But in this case, you'll never know if these twins grew up to be, the astronauts, or if the pregnancy was even successful. But what is known is that they took away the potential for anything to happen because of a horrible mistake. That's so heartbreaking. That's so heartbreaking.
Last gram.
Florida is allowing the death penalty for child rapists.
Yeah, that dude down there, DeSantis, passed a law that said child rapists, or if you're convicted, the death penalty is on the table.
Do they have?
I'm in agreement.
Do they have death penalty for other? Is this like their first crime?
Florida's a death penalty.
Oh, okay. So they've extended it to include child rapists.
Florida, Texas, Pennsylvania, and Florida are Commonwealth states.
I don't know about Florida. I know Pennsylvania and Virginia. I don't know about Florida.
I think, but I don't know. But yeah, they're a death penalty state is what is the point in me saying that. But now they have the death penalty on the table for child rapists. I agree. Thoughts?
I mean, well, my opinion about the death penalty. I don't believe that it is at anybody's discretion to decide when a person should be killed. I knew she was going to say
that. I just wanted her to say it out loud.
Yeah. I mean, and you also know my feeling about child rapists. Like, if they die, I'm not going to cry about it. But again, I just don't think that it is anyone's, it should not be at anyone's discretion to take a life. That's that.
That's that.
I mean, that's how I feel about it. And I can't, I mean, guess what? If it was my child, someone that I love, I wouldn't be the one in the courtroom saying, no, don't give him the death penalty. But I wouldn't be the one saying, please kill him.
But what if they said, okay, we can only give him the death penalty if this is only going to look right if all 9 of the family members sign as a petition to say that that's what they want. You would be the lone one to say, I can't sign that? And God forbid it's one of our little ones. You would be the one to say, I can't sign this paper. And all of us are standing over there, and you would be standing over there saying, I just can't do it, y'all.
God don't handle it. I couldn't live with myself to know that was me who said that.
I did it, y'all. I got her. I did it, y'all. I got her. It's cool. Yeah. And you don't have to resist. You can just say he did it. You ain't even got to resist. I hope they can go with an initial. We just do 2 letters. Yeah, that I'm with that, and I'm sure a lot of other people out there. When you start messing with little people, yes, you are a different breed. I don't think you can be fixed. And when we say the R word, it's different from the M word. The M word is just as bad, but the R word, yeah, you gotta go. Your skin need to go, and that's just how I feel about that.
I ain't contesting it, you know.
That's it. Let's do a wrap. A2 the podcast, episode 143, coming to a close.
Oh, 143.
Yeah, I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
Again, the platforms you can catch us on are A2TP.com, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Player, FM, Podchaser, Pod Addict, Pod Index, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube.
You got them all.
I got them all?
Yeah. You like froze.
Did a Mitch McConnell on y'all. I just wanted to see if y'all caught that. A2 the podcast, episode 143. It's your boy, International Walt.
Your girl, Tash, she co-hosts with the most.
If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace.